All right. So let's get into the evidence for Sydney Watson. Let's talk feminist Aussies, feminist Aussie women. All right. So listen, and I've been going hard in the paint on Sid because, well, I think that when you're continuing to represent yourself as a conservative voice, when you're continuing to represent yourself as a non-feminist, when you're continuing to go out there and grift and keep up the grift, as this based creator, you're trying to put that out there. And you've put out this complaint, which is your voice, which is your message, which is your words, saying that you are a victim and that people should look to your victimhood and not just feel bad, but give you over $1 million. Yeah, I'm going to hold you to task on that. And not just an individual, right? Not just Elijah Schaffer, but the Blaze itself, because Elijah Schaffer, once again, is not part of this lawsuit. So today, we're going to go through the evidence for, let's blow this up here, the evidence for the Elijah Schaffer case. So we have the exhibits here in this case. Now, this is the actual document. You know, things just appear in my email nowadays, and I love it. By the way, if you guys want to ever have anything appear in my email in terms of evidence, feel free. But this is the evidence in the case of Sydney Watson versus the Blaze Media, civil action 323CV00279B in the Northern District of Texas in Dallas. So nobody has really gone over this before, so it's really new evidence that we are seeing. We're seeing a lot of the declaration. We're going to see some text, some signal chats, and we're going to see how they expose Sydney as a liar, how they take what Sydney said in her complaint and what she's been saying publicly, by the way, and expose her as a liar. So let's just jump right into it. And this was, of course, provided by the lawyers for the Blaze, Celeste Yeager and Jordan Cowman of Greenberg. And Littler. I will say though, to be honest though, about something, I don't know Littler. So let me be very clear. I don't know Littler, but I actually turned down a job with Greenberg because they're fucking assholes. But they're effective assholes. So they're effective assholes. The guy before me, they made fun of his shoes. So I was doing an interview with them, and they're like, "Did you see the guy's shoes who just walked up there?" And I'm like, "Dude, that's some petty ass shit." And they were like sitting there dunking on the guy's like appearance for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, "All right, well, like I'm here to talk about like you giving me a job." And they gave me an offer too, but I said, "No, go fuck yourself." Also, they make you work an ungodly amount of hours. So anyways, Exhibit 1, right? This was served on Kurt Schlichter, right? Once again, and I know a lot of people are like, I like Kurt. I follow him on TV or I see his Twitter or whatever, right? And here's the thing. You can agree with people's general political views, right? But in this case, Sydney is using a known conservative lawyer as cover to paint herself as a true woman on the right, which she is anything but. So let's go down here to Exhibit 1. So the first thing we have is the declaration of Tyler Cardin. Who the hell is Tyler Cardin? Tyler Cardin is the employee of Blaze Media as Chief Executive Officer, CEO, right? So the CEO of Blaze Media. Actually, let me get this a little bit bigger so you guys see it. All right. And, saying, hey, Blaze Media is a for-profit company engaged in news and entertainment. And I, as CEO, am familiar with the talent services agreement that it has with its independent contractors, including the talent service agreement between the Blaze and plaintiff Sydney Watson. So here's the big issue with this case. Here's the huge issue. They're independent contractors, not employees. Sydney is attempting to frame herself as an employee when she knows she was a contractor. She knows this was framed as a contractor agreement. She knows she had the level of control as a contractor. But let's be clear. Some women are never happy. Some women, no matter how much power you give them, they want more. They want you, the man, or in this case, Daddy Corporation, to have all of the responsibility, but none of the authority. This is the problem with the feminist mindset. They want men to still bear, in society at large, they want us to bear responsibility. They want us to bear the cost. They want us to shoulder the burdens of society while they just do jack shit. While we just serve our queens. Society does not run like that. When you are separate, when you are a contractor, when you are independent, you're independent, lady. That means you're doing your own thing, Sid. You're not an employee. You can't come back and say, oh, no, I want to be an employee. Okay, well, if you're an employee, you do what the fuck we tell you to do when we tell you to do it. You cannot have it both ways. And Ty, someone can be awesome and their political points can be great, but he's wrong on this one, brother. He is dead wrong on this one. So Sean George says, I'm good on the boycott by default since I drink in. Okay, great. Shinerbach, Ziegenbach, Yingling are great beers, but grow some chest hair and pour you a glass of good old Tennessee whiskey. Cheers. Yeah, cheers, guys. Cheers. So we're going to continue with this here about the contractor agreement. So once again, we're talking about her agreement to be independent. So they entered into the talent services agreement, the TSA. It's pretty much a consulting agreement, which is attached. So we're going to get a copy of that. Now, it's going to be heavily redacted. But we're also getting here, as Exhibit C, a copy of a text message between Miss Watson and the CEO on December 4th, 2021. So Miss Watson told me that she would usually say no right out of the gate when she thought a proposed guest idea was bad, and she let the Nick thing slide. She added, she is glad they did it to an extent. And she said, I could trust that she was making hardcore vetoes whenever she felt a proper guest was a bad fit. So remember, Sid was bitching about Nick Fuentes, Catboy lover Nick Fuentes. And look, no love lost there with Nick, but she seems to have been okay with it. And frankly, she wanted controversial guests. Sydney knows that controversy gets clicks. Controversy is what gets people in. So you bring in the controversial guest and you argue, by the way, this Nick thing is Nick Fuentes. This is not Nick Rekieta. This is not rackets that they're speaking about. This is Nick Fuentes. So this Nick is not Nick Rekieta. This is Nick Fuentes. She didn't say no's, right? She didn't say no's. And actually, at this point, she hadn't had Rekieta on yet. Fuentes was on before Nick. So Fuentes appeared on You Are Here. Miss Watson answered a viewer question during September 15, 2021 episode of the show in regards to Mr. Fuentes, whether Mr. Fuentes would be appearing. Miss Watson stated, I disagree with a bunch of his stances, but Miss Watson was not anti-platforming people. And Miss Watson does not care because you interrogate ideas, and if it's a bad idea, you use a better idea to beat it. I don't understand. I'm fine with that. Okay, right here, guys. How many conservative-based women have you heard say this exact same thing? How many out there, guys? How many conservative, I want to know, based content creators, right? They call themselves based, they call themselves conservative, they call themselves red pill. Maybe they're even out there doing semi-manosphere type stuff. Maybe they're the Pearls of the world or, whatever else, the folks out there that are doing red pill content or manosphere content or whatever else, based content. And they say this. They say, I'm not against deplatforming. They say, I'm for good ideas, fighting it out. I'm for discussing it. But here's what happens. And here's the truth, is that every single one of these creators, when they're pushed on a sensitive issue, something that gets in their feelings, they all bend and they all show their true colors. Every single one of these content creators, if you push them, they're going to show their true colors. They're going to show exactly what they are.